Welcome to the deep dive. We're diving into self-improvement today.
Ooh, self-improvement.
Yeah, we're going to be exploring an audiobook called Power Habits,
Okay.
all about self-talk and beliefs and perceptions, kind of leveling up in life.
Sounds good.
I'm really excited to unpack this with you and see what we can learn.
Yeah, where do we even begin with this?
Well, it starts with this, I guess you'd call it a story about this healer.
Oh, okay.
He's treating his friend named Mass, and everyone thinks the friend is, well, dead.
Oh, wow.
But Mass has this realization, right? And it's about the nature of death, and his friend revives.
Oh, my God.
So it's like this really powerful way to start
Yeah, definitely.
to introduce the idea that our minds have
Okay.
like a huge impact.
Really interesting on
And
our reality.
Well, how does it explain that?
Well, it goes on to explain how our self-talk,
Self-talk, right?
that inner voice we all have,
Yeah.
it plays a huge role in shaping our reality.
Okay.
And it breaks self-talk down into 3 levels.
Reload. There's the inner critic always telling us we're not good enough.
Oh, I know that one.
Then there are but statements.
The but statements.
Like when we acknowledge something positive,
Right,
but then negate it
right.
with a but.
Yeah, classic self-sabotage.
Exactly. And then, of
Yeah.
course, there's positive affirmations
Physical.
where we want to be,
Yeah,
but it can be tough to get there.
it can be.
It takes practice.
It does take practice.
So this audiobook
Yeah.
actually mentions a study. It's from 1983.
Okay.
And it said 75% of negative self-talk can lead to physical health problems,
Really?
like ulcers, high blood pressure,
Wow.
even heart attacks.
That's incredible.
It's scary to think about.
And kind of
It
scary.
makes you want to be more aware of that self-talk, right? Like try to shift it to
Absolutely.
something more positive.
I'm curious, though.
Yeah.
Where does all this negative self-talk come from? Well, the audiobook, it points out 5 major sources that influence it.
5, guys.
Parents,
Yeah.
school, friends, the media, and even our own thoughts.
Our own thoughts.
Yeah. Sometimes we're our own worst critics.
That's so true. I know I am sometimes.
It can be tough.
What's interesting to me is that just recognizing these sources,
Right.
it can actually help,
I think so, too.
to manage the self-talk better.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think it's all about becoming more mindful.
Okay.
Like, when you realize that your negative self-talk might stem from, let's say, a critical parent
Right.
or a really tough experience in school,
Yeah.
you can start to kind of separate
Yeah,
yourself
separate yourself.
from that voice.
Okay.
And it lets you challenge those thoughts.
Challenge them. Okay.
And then ask yourself,
Mm-hmm.
is this actually true?
Right?
Or is this just an echo of the past?
An echo of the past.
Yeah, baggage you're carrying around that you
Oh.
don't need.
That's a really great way to put it. Yeah.
And this audiobook,
Yeah.
it even suggests an exercise
Oh, an exercise.
of writing down your negative and positive self-talk.
Writing it down.
Yeah, so you can see it.
Like literally see it on paper.
Right, and challenge those negative patterns.
I've tried that before. And honestly, sometimes I feel like it just gets me even more stuck in the negativity.
I get that.
It can be tough.
I think it's much more effective to focus on
Okay.
crafting positive affirmations
Positive affirmations.
that directly counter those negative thoughts.
Interesting.
So instead of dwelling on, I'm not good enough,
Right.
try repeating,
Okay.
I am capable and deserving of success.
I'm capable and deserving of success.
I am capable and deserving of success.
You got it. The key is to like reprogram your mind
Right.
with empowering statements.
Some empowering statements, I like that.
Yeah. It's about changing the narrative.
So that makes a lot of sense to me, and it makes me think about how this all ties into
Yeah.
our beliefs,
The beliefs.
right? Like our self-talk.
Is so deeply intertwined with what we believe to
Yeah.
be true about ourselves and the world around us.
Absolutely.
And I think the story the audiobook tells about Muhammad Ali
Oh, yeah.
really brings this home.
Oh, so.
Well, he famously believed he was the greatest boxer,
He did.
even before he became a champion.
Right.
And that belief fueled his success.
It's powerful stuff.
It really is. It wasn't just bravado.
You're right.
It was a deep-seated conviction
It was, yeah.
that shaped his reality.
Changes reality. I like that.
Yeah. And the audiobook highlights that, unwavering belief in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
even before seeing tangible results.
Right.
It can be this powerful driving force for success.
Absolutely.
And it goes on to outline 5 main types of belief.
5 main types. Okay.
Beliefs about ourselves,
Right.
beliefs about the world,
Okay.
about specific circumstances,
By that.
about the future, and about other people.
Makes sense.
And each of these can either empower us, or hold us back. It's like we're always creating these little stories in our heads,
Yeah.
shaping our perception of what's possible.
Shaping our perception, yeah.
I remember the example from the audiobook about a 73-year-old woman
Uh-huh.
who was terrified of stairs
Oh, wow.
because she had this really scary experience
Yeah.
when she was just 8 years old.
Oh, my
That
goodness.
one event
Wow.
shaped her belief about stairs
About stairs?
for decades.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
It really is.
That's a perfect example of how past experiences
Yeah.
create these limiting beliefs
Right.
that hold us back.
They do.
The good news is we have the power
We do.
to identify those beliefs and challenge them.
Absolutely.
So how do we actually shift those beliefs?
So the audiobook offers this, it's like a step-by-step process.
Okay.
First, find a quiet space
Okay.
where you can focus.
Right.
Then write down the negative belief
Oh, okay.
that's bugging you.
Write it down.
Yeah.
Got it.
Next, you explore how that belief
Mm-hmm.
is impacting your life, your health, your relationships.
Really dive deep.
Really, imagine carrying that belief for 5 more years. How would that feel?
5 more years.
Yeah. And after that,
Mm-hmm.
you come back to the present
Okay.
and write down a positive belief to replace the negative.
Well, positive belief.
Right. And then you focus
Okay.
on the benefits of this new belief.
Okay.
Visualize yourself
Okay.
living with it.
So it combines introspection
Yeah.
with concrete action.
Right.
I'm curious, though,
Right,
does
right.
it have to be that structured?
Structure can be helpful
Right.
when you're starting out,
Yeah.
but honestly, the most important thing is
Yeah.
to find what works for you.
Okay.
Some people find journaling helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Others prefer meditation
Right.
or even visualization techniques.
I see. Just different approaches.
Exactly. And the key is
Yeah.
to be consistent and patient with yourself
Consistent and patient.
because change takes time.
You know, once you start to become aware of that self-talk
Yeah.
and begin to identify the underlying beliefs,
Mhm.
it leads us to another,
Correct.
crucial aspect of self-improvement.
Which is
Perception.
perception. Right.
And the audiobook has a story about this, too.
Does it now? What is
No.
it? It does. It talks about 3 masons working on a wall.
Oh, okay.
They're all doing the same job,
Uh-huh.
but they have completely different perspectives on it.
Okay.
One sees it as just like drudgery, you know?
Right.
Another is craftsmanship.
Okay.
And the third actually sees himself as contributing to a grand cathedral.
So it's the same task,
The same exact task.
but vastly different perceptions.
Vastly different, yeah.
I like that.
And it really emphasizes that
Mm-hmm.
our perception, it's influenced by so many things.
Okay.
Our health, behaviors,
Right.
and even our current
It's
feelings.
everything.
Pretty much. And in turn,
Yeah.
our perception shapes our reality, you know?
Shapes our reality.
Yeah, and our experiences.
Yeah. So it's like this cycle.
It really is.
You know, our perception shapes our reality, and then our reality shapes our perception.
And it goes on and on.
And it goes on and on.
But the audiobook, it cautions us against falling into these negative perception traps.
Traps. Oh, okay.
It outlines 4 of them.
Okay.
Blame,
Right.
comparison, dwelling on the past, and destructive criticism.
All things I'm sure we've all experienced.
Oh, absolutely. We've all been there.
What's the danger of these traps?
Well, blame keeps us stuck in victim mode.
Oh, right.
Comparison, it makes us feel inadequate.
Yeah,
Dwelling on the past prevents us from moving forward.
I know that one.
And then destructive criticism just erodes our self-esteem and our relationships.
All bad things.
No good.
So how do we break free?
So the audiobook offers some practical strategies.
Okay, like what?
A really simple one,
Mhm.
smiling.
Smiling.
Smiling more often.
Okay, I like that one already.
It's surprisingly effective.
So how does smiling help?
Well, it actually tricks your brain into feeling happier.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if you don't feel happy?
Even if you don't feel like it at first.
Wow.
And it has this ripple effect too.
Oh, definitely.
So when you smile at someone,
Mm-hmm.
they're more likely to smile back.
Makes sense.
Creates a more positive atmosphere.
I like that. Turn that frown upside down.
You got it.
What are some of the other strategies?
Calling people by their names
Right, shows respect.
makes people feel valued.
What else?
Really listening
Okay.
to others
Hmm.
when they're speaking,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just waiting for your turn to talk.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'm guilty of that sometimes.
We all are.
Okay. let
Take
me
a
swap.
responsibility
Mhm.
for your mistakes.
Instead of blaming others.
Exactly.
Okay.
Be courteous
Right.
and respectful, even when you're stressed.
Even when you're stressed, that's a tough one.
It can be.
What else?
And perhaps most importantly,
Aye.
practicing forgiveness.
Forgiveness, that's a tough one.
It can be tough.
But it's so important.
It is. It's about letting go
Yeah.
of the negativity,
Right.
Holding on to grudges, it only hurts us in the long run.
I know, yeah.
So it's about releasing that negative energy and making space for healing and growth.
All of this talk about perception,
Mm-hmm.
how it influences our experience, leads perfectly into the next section,
Okay.
which is all about mastering our emotions.
Mastering our emotions, right?
You know, I've always struggled with that.
I hear that a lot.
Sometimes it feels like my emotions just control me,
Okay.
and there's nothing I can do about it.
It can definitely feel that way.
Yeah.
But the audiobook has an interesting take on it.
Okay, tell me more.
It starts with this, it's like a thought-provoking story.
A story!
Yeah, about a young man
Okay.
who's searching for happiness.
All right.
He travels all over,
Mm-hmm.
eventually finds a wise man
Oh, the wise man.
who promises to reveal the secret to happiness.
Okay.
The wise man keeps pouring tea
But,
into the young man's cup,
Uh.
even after it overflows.
oh, I see where this is going.
And when the young man protests,
Yeah.
the wise man says, "You are like this cup, so full of your own thoughts and worries
Right.
that there's no room for anything else."
Including happiness.
Exactly.
That's a really beautiful metaphor
It is.
for how we cling to negative emotions and prevent ourselves from experiencing joy and peace.
Exactly. But how do we actually change that?
Yeah, that's the question.
Well, the audiobook emphasizes that
Yeah.
external situations,
Mm-hmm.
they don't actually control our emotions.
Okay.
It's our reactions to them
Our reactions.
that determine how we feel.
That makes sense.
So we might not be able to control what happens to us,
Right.
but we can control
Okay.
how we respond.
But how do we actually change our reactions?
It can feel so automatic.
It does, yeah.
This is where the concepts of ego and I'd come in.
Okay, can you explain this?
Sure.
I'm not sure I completely understand how they relate to emotions.
Yeah, so think of the I'd as the impulsive part of us.
Right.
That seeks immediate gratification,
Okay, I get that.
while the ego tries to balance those desires
Right.
with the demands of reality.
So it's like the id is the devil on your shoulder,
You could say that.
and the ego is the angel.
Sort of.
Okay, I kind of get it.
Understanding this dynamic can be incredibly empowering
How so?
because it helps us see that we have a choice
A choice.
in how we respond to our emotions.
Okay.
We're not just slaves to our impulses.
Right.
We can choose to listen to the ego.
The angel on our shoulder.
Exactly.
So how do we break free from that cycle of reacting impulsively?
The audiobook suggests a visualization technique.
Okay, tell me more.
You write down the negative emotion you're feeling
Okay.
and why you're feeling it.
Okay.
Then you crumple up the paper
Okay.
and throw it away,
Throw it away.
symbolically releasing that negativity.
Okay.
And then you write down
Yeah.
the positive emotion you want to feel instead
Okay.
and visualize yourself experiencing it.
So I'm supposed to imagine myself feeling happy,
Actually,
even
no.
if I'm feeling sad or angry at the moment.
Yes, because visualization is a powerful tool for change.
Okay.
It allows us to mentally rehearse
Right.
that desired emotional state.
So we're basically tricking our brains
Think that.
into believing we're already feeling the positive emotion.
You could say that.
That's amazing.
It is. And this repeated mental rehearsal
Mm-hmm.
strengthens those neural pathways in our brains,
Okay.
making it more likely that we'll experience the desired emotion in real life.
So I'm actually changing my brain.
You are. It's all about
Wow.
consciously shaping our inner world.
This is really blowing my mind.
And it leads us to the final concept,
Okay.
forming new behaviors.
Oh, right. Because it's one thing to talk about self-talk and beliefs and emotions, but
Mhm.
ultimately we
Mhm.
want to see that translate into positive changes in our lives.
Absolutely. We want to see action.
So how do we make that happen?
Well, it starts by acknowledging
Okay.
that our behavior
Mm-hmm.
are shaped by a complex interplay
Okay.
of external and internal factors.
Like what?
Our past experiences, our self-esteem,
Right.
our self-image,
Okay.
and the results we've seen in the past.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's like we're running on autopilot sometimes,
I've definitely felt that.
repeating the same patterns without realizing it.
Yeah, it can be hard to break those patterns.
It can, but the key takeaway here is that we can consciously form new behaviors.
We can.
We can. It takes effort
Right?
and awareness.
Yeah.
But we're not just puppets of our past conditioning.
I love that.
We have the power to choose differently.
The power to choose differently.
Yeah. The audiobook had this great story about Jennifer,
Jennifer, okay.
who always cuts off the head and tail of the fish before baking it.
Okay.
And when her friend asked her why,
Yeah.
she said she learned it from her mother.
From her mother, okay.
But then when they asked Jennifer's mother,
Right.
she said she learned it from her mother.
Oh, wow.
None of them knew why they
Well,
did it. That's funny.
It was just a habit passed down for generations.
So it's like we need to wake up
Would you do?
and become aware of the unconscious patterns running our lives.
Become aware. Yeah.
So how do we go about forming new, more positive behaviors?
Visualization is a great tool here as well.
Visualization again.
It keeps coming up
Yeah.
because it's so powerful.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So you find a quiet space,
Mm-hmm.
close your eyes.
Okay.
Imagine yourself performing the desired behavior
Mm-hmm.
with confidence and ease.
Oh,
Engage all your senses.
okay.
What do you see, hear, feel, even smell and taste?
So I'm basically trying on the new behavior in my...
Exactly.
Okay.
The more vividly you can imagine it, the
Right.
more likely you are to actually do it in real life.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if you struggle with procrastination,
Procrastination? Oh, yeah.
you could visualize yourself
Okay.
sitting down at your desk,
Oh.
feeling focused and motivated,
Right.
and completing your tasks efficiently.
That's a good one. You got it.
I'm starting to see how it all ties together.
It does, right?
The self-talk, the beliefs, the perceptions, the emotions.
Yeah.
Now, the behaviors,
All connected.
it's like they all work together to shape our reality,
They really do.
to really drive home the importance of all this.
Yeah.
The audiobook concludes with a story. A story. I love stories.
This one's a good one.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so it's about this man named Brian.
Brian, okay.
He's on a cruise with his family,
Uh-huh.
and he's decides to take a walk on the deck
Okay.
while the ship is docked.
Right.
And as he's looking out at the water,
Yeah.
he hears someone screaming for help.
Oh, no.
A young boy has fallen overboard.
Oh, gosh.
Without hesitation, a man, probably in his 50s,
Okay.
dives into the ocean to rescue the boy.
Wow.
He manages to grab the boy,
Okay.
keep him afloat
Right.
until help arrives.
That's so brave.
Incredibly brave.
So what happens to the rescuer?
Well, sadly,
Um.
he gets caught in the currents and loses his life.
Oh, that's just heartbreaking.
It's a tragic end, but
Yeah.
the story doesn't end there.
Okay.
So Brian, he later speaks with a woman who witnessed the whole thing,
Right.
and she tells him that the man who saved the boy,
Yeah.
he didn't seem panicked
Really?
or afraid,
Wow.
even while struggling in the water.
That's amazing.
He was calm,
Mm-hmm.
focused,
Mm.
determined to save that boy's life,
Even at the cost of his own.
even at the cost of his own.
That's just incredible.
And right before he disappeared beneath the waves,
Oh, God.
he looked up at the people on the deck
Yeah.
and said, "Take advantage of life."
Wow. What a powerful final message.
It really is.
So how does this story connect to everything we've been talking about?
It shows that this man had incredible self-control.
Right.
He mastered his emotions,
Yeah.
acted decisively,
Yeah.
made a profound difference in the world.
It's like a reminder that even small acts of self-control, of
Yeah.
making conscious choices, can have a huge impact.
A ripple effect.
Yeah, that extends far beyond ourselves.
Absolutely.
Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into power habits,
Yeah.
let's recap what we've learned.
Okay.
We started with the power of self-talk.
Right, those inner voices.
That can build us up or tear us down.
They can.
Then we explored how our beliefs shape our reality
And how to shift those limiting beliefs.
into empowering ones.
Exactly.
We talked about perception,
Mhm.
how we can choose to see the world through a more positive lens,
And avoid those negative traps.
like blame and comparison.
Yep.
And of course, we dove into the world of emotions,
Right. Learning how to manage them.
using techniques like visualization.
Such a powerful tool.
And finally, we talked about how to form new behaviors,
Consciously choose new ways of being.
even if it takes effort and practice.
It does, but it's worth it.
It is. This has been such an insightful journey.
It has.
I'm feeling inspired to put some of these ideas into practice.
Me too.
So before we go, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question.
Okay.
What one small change will you make today
Today, okay.
based on something you learned from power habits?
Interesting question.
It could be a shift in your self-talk,
Right.
a decision to challenge a limiting belief,
Okay.
a commitment to smiling more often,
I like that one.
or even taking a few minutes
Too.
to practice that visualization technique.
Remember, even small changes can lead to remarkable transformations.
That's so true. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into power habits.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you gained some valuable insights
Absolutely.
and inspiration to fuel your self-improvement journey.
Keep learning, keep growing.
And we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.